And in this video, we're going to talk about Simple Beats Complex. And before I get into it, I'm going to tell you real quick, a lot of this will make sense. A Simple Beats Complex, just about in every case that you want to talk about. And it's a campaign structure framework that you want to put into place and put into place over and over and over again before you're going to see results. It's like a habit, it's like a pump. Whenever I was a little kid, we used to run around the neighborhood all up and down the street. And there was one guy who had whose house was a retired old fella. And when I'm talking little kid, I'm talking 8, 10, 12 years old. We used to, honest to goodness, we run around all over the place. The same houses I would go to sell the magazines, the candles, whatever else. And Roy was his name. He had in his yard a pump for a spring. What is a pump? It's a pump that pumped water out of the ground. And you had to dump some in and really give it a crank before and I don't know, for 30 seconds to a minute before the cleanest, freshest, coldest, best tasting water you've ever tasted finally came up from the spring that we would just pump the crap out of. And it was way better than any garden hose that we were ever drinking out of whenever we were running up and down the street. But before we were done, we'd fill the can that was there and set it back up so that there was water to be poured back down to the pump for the next time. But the same thing's going to apply to this. You're going to have to give this some work and give it some pumping before the results pay off. And it's like anything else, like I said, a habit or anything like this. But whenever you start to do this and put it into place, it'll come to fruition. But you have to do it over and over and over again. But you start with the lead on any given video, any piece of content, any lead magnet or whatever, and it's got to be good because it's got to grab the attention. And so once you get an experiment with these and do your split testing, A and B and whatever, images, titles, and all that, then you give them facts, figures, statistics, right? Wrong. You forget all this crap. You want to give them stories on what it is that you're offering is going to work and solve their problem. Why stories and not facts, figures. Now, these will bore the crap out of you. And they'll be effective to a degree, but not as much as a story, because whenever you tell a story, just like I did with Ray and his pump, whenever you're a little kid, it's not only my story, but it's your story, because you go into your mind and relive an experience back whenever you were a little kid, and it's universal. And not only that, it builds a bond because it releases chemicals in the brain, oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, and it builds a bond, builds trust, and it's that much more effective. So tell stories that relate to what it is that you're trying to do and trying to convey, because they're more effective than this stuff, facts and figures. Now, I'm not saying not to include them, but I'm saying more stories that you do include, the better, the more effective that it's going to be. And then that goes to your offer. And the offer articulates a point A and a point B, where they are, where you can take them. And the coolest thing and the best thing that you want to do is start like Elon Musk, right? Build the biggest one first and offer it, or I should say, make the biggest and best offer first before you build it, because then you can get the cash and then build it. And so it's like another time when I was a little kid, I used to race BMX bikes, and this is what I would ride up and down the street. And there was a BMX park where we had races every week. And it was the best track around. They had it so well manicured, groomed, the starting gate and everything, berms, jumps. It was the best. And one day I was like, all right, I gotta get some practice in. 12, 14-year-old kid riding my 20-inch BMX bike. This park was a good, I'm going to say it was 10 miles from where I lived, if not further. And one day, I think me and my little brother started and we took off, rode our bikes to this park. Took us, I don't know how long, a couple hours, 2-3 hours to get there. Maybe not quite that long, but it was, keep in mind, there was a bike trail along this creek that took us there. So it wasn't all up and down the hills, but it wasn't completely flat till you got to the bike trail. But we got there ready to ride, ready to practice. And there was a guy there that ran the place that was like, hold on there. You're not going anywhere without a helmet. Helmet? What are you kidding me? 82, 84? Back in 1982, 98? No, helmet? What? What do you mean helmet? Nope, you're not riding on this track without a helmet. And we didn't know what to do, so we rode into town, called my mom, said, hey, we rode out here, we don't have a helmet. Can you come get us? Or bring the helmet so we can at least get a couple rounds in. So the kind of same thing applies here. Don't ride 10, 12 miles on your 20-inch BMX bike, put in all that effort not to get anywhere, not to have any results. Make the offer first and then offer the product. Not only that, make a big one so that as you do build out components for your offer, you can sell them individually throughout the process and make some more money to fund even more marketing for your campaigns, your ecosystem, your product suite. I hope you like this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I'm David Bridge Jr., and until next time.